You're just relatable and you're kind. You have something that made me want to listen.
Aw,
So I really think that this is a good thing for you to do. I think this is good. And I love everything you ever have to say. I'm always like all
aw,
ears. So
yay. Well, I don't have an original thought in my head. Everything that I say comes from the literature. My whole thing is you got to starve the demon. Recovery by any means necessary. You're going to have people tell you, oh, you got to work AA. You got to work NA. And what do I always say? I don't, what you
yeah.
work? Get a program and get on it, right? Because that's the important part. What's not how you get clean. It's
Mhm.
important that you get clean.
Yeah.
It's not new. Uh, I didn't even make it up. I picked it up. I picked it up from somewhere else. Somebody smarter than me. But my superpower is taking complex ideas and making them simple.
That's so funny.
If
Yeah.
you relapse now, I personally get to just smack the living shit out of you.
That's
So
fair.
I call dibs. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to Starve the Demon, where we believe in recovery by any means necessary. I have a very special guest today. I have Mackenzie, who I have known for a couple of years, and she is going to tell us her story. We do short stories on this channel. We're not going to ask her to share all the gory details because the pain is the same and the suffering is the same, and that's the same for everybody. But we're going to see what Mackenzie has to say, what she's gone through in her journey, and where she's at today and where she's going. So, Mackenzie, welcome to Starve
Thank
the
you.
Demon.
It's nice to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to see you. Look fabulous.
Thank you.
So, in the comments, if anybody wants to comment about how gorgeous Mackenzie is, she is single. Put it out there. I'm putting it out there. I don't care. I'm telling everybody. So, I want to thank you for stepping up and sharing your story. This interview is about real recovery, the fight, the pain, the breakthrough, and the truth. So grateful that you are doing this.
Oh,
Right.
I love it. Anything with you, I'll do it.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Cool. So,
Okay.
what are you doing now?
I'm working for my mom. I've been working on myself this last year a lot. My health, what I've been eating, and my body.
Awesome. I want to hear everything.
Thank you. I feel good.
All right. For you, what did addiction look like at its worst?
At its worst, hopeless comes to mind for sure. Confusion is another word that comes to mind.
Talk about that. What were you confused about?
At my lowest, I was confused if people were even real at that point.
Mm.
That's how bad it got for me. It was terrified of my own shadow. I was terrified of the future, terrified of my surroundings, terrified just of everything. I was facing a 3-year prison sentence, and
Mm.
that really took me out. I was absolutely terrified to go to prison. And with court kind of looming, I was just scared. And it got to the point where I didn't want to feel scared anymore. So I was just trying to keep getting high and higher and higher. And all it did was bring me lower and lower. And that was probably my lowest point, is when I couldn't trust myself. I couldn't trust anyone to believe that they were real or trying to help me. And it was a really scary place to
Wow.
be.
You give me goosebumps. Can I tell you that for me, in the end,
Mm.
the only emotion I had left was fear. I can literally remember hiding under the covers in my bed,
Mhm.
scared to answer the phone, scared somebody was going to knock on the door. Just, there was nothing left but that fear.
Mhm.
I feel that. You give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
I really feel that.
Yeah.
So, how did it begin for you? Was there a turning point or was it like a slow slide?
It was pretty slow for me. I'd say where it took a turn for me is when my son, who at the time was 2.5, was diagnosed with cancer.
Hmm.
And that was kind of like a little too much for me. And then I started using pretty heavy and then continued from there. But I was working. I managed to get my cosmetology license while using, worked my way up in a salon. I won an award at the salon I was working at. I mean, I had a lot of accomplishments while using, but when I probably got to my lowest, it was on its way down pretty quickly towards the end there. But it was a slow slide. It was a 10-year run of
Wow.
using every day. So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
So, okay, so you were trying to deal with your son's cancer. You were trying to, I'm going to say, it's that oxymoron of the functioning addict, right? Like, oh, I'm keeping it together. I've got a job. I'm taking care of
Uh-huh.
this. I'm taking care of that. But really, you're not present. You weren't truly there for your son.
No.
You weren't dealing with that, coping with that. You were
Mm-mm.
using drugs and alcohol as the wrong solution to your actual problems.
Absolutely. Definitely was not there for him or my family. I'm working on it not to be a regret, but that weighs heavy on me. It's something I've had to forgive myself for. Whether other people forgive me or not, that's really on them, but it's definitely something that I've worked on for myself because that was hard. Yeah, I was using to deal, but really I was using so I didn't have to deal is kind of
Right.
how it was.
That makes total sense. So now, did the people around you, your mom, your coworkers, your friends, did they know how deep your problem was?
I don't think they knew how deep it was, but there was an instance where I had some coworkers from the salon I was at try to do like an intervention for me, but I kind of got wind of that and went the other way. Wasn't ready. I don't know if they knew how bad it was, but I think that they knew there was something not right.
Like they knew there was a problem, they didn't know exactly what the problem was.
Yeah, I think so. But that's, never a discussion I've really had, which I think that's something I would like to have because I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's a good question. You heal yourself first. And then, once I feel like for me, once I'm in a place where I feel good and I feel like the wounds are closed and I'm working on myself and I'm in a better place, I feel now in a better spot to kind of open up that door and ask questions to the people that were involved in my addiction on the outside. It's not really been something that I've worked on at all in my journey so far, but I would like to because I think that helps them heal too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you this. Did you work the 12 steps?
I've not worked them all. I have not. When I came home from rehab, I was so insecure. I didn't want to go to any in person meetings because I grew up here in this town. I used here and I just didn't want to see people that I had used with because really just because I feel like I didn't like the way I looked. Kind of
Yeah.
that's really where I was. So I was doing online meetings and I was doing it with AA. I had a sponsor. We didn't really gel, and I didn't take the time to find another one. So I kind of just let it go. It is something that I would like to do. That's kind of on my list. I'm just now branching out to more meetings here locally in person now. So it's something that I think this year I'll be able to do all 12. I've gotten to step three.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I put my sponsor hat on for a minute?
Yes, please.
Cool. Okay, so here's what I would tell you if you were my sponsee.
Hmm.
Don't wait. Don't walk, run. Because
Okay.
that healing that you're speaking of,
Hmm.
for you to be able to hold your head high in that town,
Hmm.
for you to be able to go to a meeting anywhere, go to wherever, that's why we work the steps, right? And I know you're doing that 3-step shuffle, right?
Hmm.
I did one. I admitted I have a problem. I did 2. I believe that I was insane, and I believe there's a higher power can restore me to sanity. And I
Hmm.
did 3. I've decided to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him. Right?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm good. 1, 2, 3. And you're scared of 4. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. Step 4 is where the healing really starts. Step 4 is where you write down all your resentments, all your fears, your sexual history, which if you think you don't have things, you got things. Everybody's got things. So you write down what it is, who it's related to, why, what it affected in your life. Was it your self-esteem, your pocketbook, your ambitions, your whatever, right? And then you get to the magic column, my part in it. And sometimes your part is just wrong place, wrong time. Hanging out with the wrong people, bad things happen, right?
Hmm.
Step 4 teaches us how to forgive. Before we can be forgiven, we have to be able to forgive, right?
Mm.
So in that 4th step, you're going to see, well, I resent this, because of this, and my part was, oh, wait a minute, I had a part in it, right? In that, the reason you're able to forgive others is because you're going to see where you have done that very thing to somebody else.
Mm.
Maybe not that thing, but the feeling. That
Oh.
feeling that was created in you, you have at one time or another created that feeling in somebody else. And you
Mm.
sure wish you could be forgiven. That makes it so much easier to forgive it when you realize, oh shoot, I'm not a victim. I'm a perpetrator. So a lot of those fourth step people, they go right on to your eighth step.
Mm.
So people are scared of the fourth step also because they're scared of the fifth step. What's the fifth step? I'm going to admit to myself, to my God, and to another human being the exact nature of my wrongs.
Uh-huh.
Now that's not, oh, I stole $20. Oh, I ditched my sister's wedding. Oh, I kicked that dog. That's not the exact nature of your wrong. The exact nature of the wrong is that you're a thief, you're a liar, you're unreliable, right?
Mm.
Those are the exact natures of your wrongs. That's step 5. Step 6, come ready to have God remove these from you. All right? That's all step 6 is. That's the whole step right there. Boom, I'm getting ready. 7, you humbly ask God to remove these from you. And he will in his time, or he won't, and he'll, turn it so you can use your powers for good instead of evil, like you did with me. He didn't shut me up. I thought he was going to shut me up. Nope. Just found a different way to keep me talking. And then 8, make a list of all the people I've harmed and get ready to make amends. Right? That's scary. Except when you get to 9 and you make those direct amends. Right? You've reached out to whoever you can reach out to. And you've said, hey, listen, I'm trying to stay sober. I've done this. I've been clean for 2.5 years. I go to meetings. I'm working my steps. I went to rehab, blah, blah, blah. I'm not that person anymore. I'm really sorry that our relationship got messed up. I'm sorry for my part. Is there anything I could do? Blah, 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 blah. You have that conversation with them, right? They're either going to give you something to do. Yeah, I need my laptop back that you sold for drugs. Like that thing. That'd be great. Could you do that? 99% of the people said to me, I'm so happy you're clean. So great. Just keep doing that. You don't owe me anything. That's what you're going to hear out of most of them. Every once in a while, you're going to hear, you know what? Too little, too late. F off. And the answer to that is, I hear you. I respect that. Here's my number. If you ever change your mind, please call me. And keep it pushing. F off. Do what they said. Keep rolling. The point of all that is that I think about you have a backpack. You're wearing a backpack, right? And all these things, your son, your boyfriends, your mom, your grades, your job, all this stuff, right? Your legal issues, all that. They're like big, heavy rocks in that backpack. And you are carrying that everywhere you go. Everything that happens to you is filtered through that. The steps, you take the rocks out of the backpack. Now you can walk the world with your head held high like the child of God that you are. And you don't have the shame and you don't have the guilt because you've had the conversations. You're not running into somebody at Publix and going, oh my God, I can't see them.
Yeah.
There's nobody you can't see because you've had the conversation. There's no more secrets. All those skeletons in your closet, those are warriors in your army now. Your mess is your message. It's the freedom. That's what it is. And that's why we do it. It's all to bring you to the spiritual experience, right? That's the whole point in working the steps. So, and of course here, recovery by any means necessary, whether you work the steps or not, it's coming to the spiritual experience is the point. But if you work the steps, you get there that much quicker, right?
Yes.
That's my experience. And that's why I push that, and that's why I promote that, and that's why I knock you over the head with it a little bit. It will get you to that healing faster, is my opinion. So, anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you. So, you've got to step 3. Yay. Some people don't get that far.
Yes.
Some people don't get that far. And you have managed to go, what is it? What's your clean date?
November, I'm 2.5 years clean now. I forget the year.
Well, that could have been the date on your gravestone. You need to get a tattoo of that date. That's
Yes.
a very important date.
It is.
So I'm going to ask you to never forget.
Bad memory, but I remember November
Because you're
1st.
a brain damaged drug addict like the rest of us. Oh, well, write that shit down.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, so that would have been 2022.
So in November 2025 will be 3 years for you.
Yes.
God, has it been that long?
Yes.
Wow. So let's tell the audience, how did we meet? How do I know you? Why are you on my show?
So I was a client or a patient at the rehab that you work for. That's how I met you. I was a frequent flyer. Third time's the charm for me.
Sometimes
But
it's like that.
yeah, but I kept coming back. And you were there every time.
And I said some stuff that you didn't like, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, you did. When we were complaining, and I always remember this was your response, you'll be strong. It was like, God, like, please, we don't want to do this, or can we please not do that, or why do we have to do this? And you'll be strong. And you just said it and just kept moving, and it just stuck with me. And I've said it to myself after I've left there multiple times out loud. I've said it to my son. It's something that stuck with me, and I still say it to myself because I find, the addict comes back and it's like, I feel like complaining or rationalizing or trying to get out of doing something, then that's just what comes to mind is you'll be strong. Just get through it. Just do it. I've done worse. I've done harder, and just do it. Get it done. So that's something that I've taken with me without a
And see,
doubt.
I was right. You will be strong.
I
I've been
will.
right. I'm right every time.
You are. And I am. And I'm so proud of myself. And every time I do something that I complain to myself about first, I'm like that much more proud. It wasn't a question, it was a fact. Like you told me that and it just stuck. So I appreciate that.
That brings me such joy. There are things that go through my head from my rehab that my house mom would say that would drive me nuts, and I hated it. But I hear her voice in my
Yep.
head saying,
Hmm.
trust the process. That was the one for me. And
Yep.
I have said that to myself a million times in that same way.
Yeah. Or at my meeting this today, it's like I was there early and I'm like, well, why do I don't need to get out of the car yet? And I'm like, no, I do. Like, we get there 15 minutes early and we go and we hang out and that's just what we do. Like that's what we do because that's what you did for me and that just I don't know. That
I
stuck
was
too.
like pulling teeth with y'all sometimes. Y'all will be all standing around the van, waiting to get in the van. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you think you're going. I got the keys. We can stay in here 15 more minutes. Because I care. That's what tough love's all about. You tough love people that you have a realistic expectation of. When you believe that the person can meet that expectation. If I didn't think you could do it, I wouldn't bother. I'd be on my Facebook. What are y'all doing? Oh, I don't care. Whatever, do what you want. Never that. I'm saving lives over here. And you need that. Addicts need love.
Hmm.
They need somebody to care. We are master manipulators, and we spend too much of our life getting enabled, having
Hmm.
people either they're scared of us or they're not sure. My thing, I tell you, when I was using, I would tell you a story so sad and long and pathetic that if you didn't believe me, you're an asshole. It was just plausible enough to be true.
Hmm.
And if it was true,
Yeah.
well, you're a monster if you don't
Hmm.
give me what I want. I was bad. I was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so enough about me. So the people around you, don't go making amends till you're ready. Don't be
Hmm.
jumping steps. It's no good for anybody. I would say get a sponsor. Find
Hmm.
somebody that has what you want. My sponsor, she was beautiful. She was smart. She had this peace about her and this sense of joy. I found out later she also had a great big house and she drove a Lexus and she worked for herself. She had That's not what drew me to her,
Hmm.
right? What she had that I wanted was that peace,
Hmm.
that joy in her life. And you can tell when somebody's working their program because they're happy, joyous, and free,
Yeah.
right? So find that person that has that
Hmm.
and ask them, hey, how'd you do it? And let them tell you, and
Yeah.
then do what they tell you. You will come to a point where those people that had wanted to do an intervention with you, where you will be ready to have that conversation with them.
Hmm.
Now, do you think had they pulled off the intervention that at that moment in time it would have worked and you would have like went to rehab that day?
No, without a doubt.
'Cause you weren't ready.
No.
So was there a rock bottom moment for you?
Yeah, I think it was right before I went back for the third time. I found myself in a situation that I had never been. I didn't have a house of my own anymore. All my belongings, I don't even know where they were. I had like one bag of clothes. I had already gotten clean twice and relapsed twice. and I had relapsed on more drugs than I had ever done in my life. It was meth and everything else I could get my hands on. I was no longer employable for the first time in my life. Um, like mentally, there's not any way I could have ever had a job at that point. And that's when I realized, like, this, I can't do this. I'm going to be homeless on the side of the road with my little bag. And that's all I have. That was it. And that was it for me. That was my lowest point. I felt kind of like I had lost everything
Right.
at that point.
You're about to go be under the bridge.
Yeah, that's where I saw myself. I saw myself under a bridge or on the side of the road with nothing. And that was my lowest. And that's when I went back to rehab, kicking and screaming. And, I didn't trust that I was even in the same rehab I was in 2 months prior to that. I didn't think the people that were there were actually the real people that I met the first time. But I still, in my heart, knew that that's where I was safest. And that's where I went. And now here I am. So,
Thank God. Thank
yeah.
God. Well, that's because meth eats the white part of your brain that holds the gray part together.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that.
It's true. It's true.
Does it ever grow back?
It does. It takes about a year. It takes about a year. It
See
gets out of
that.
your system and whatever, but it's still like it takes a long time for the
Yeah,
brain to heal after
I
all
can
that.
see that. I can feel that.
Did you ever feel like it was going to kill you?
Yes.
Okay. Like, were you at all wanting that to happen or not caring if that was going to happen?
I never felt like that until I relapsed. That's when I really just didn't care. I thought I would rather be dead than go to prison. The closer that my court came, the more terrified I was. And that's when I started doing other drugs that were more dangerous because I just didn't care. I honestly, I almost was seeking that route because I just felt so helpless. So,
It seemed like the easy thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Hmm.
I get that. Unfortunately, that's very common to addiction. That's
Hmm.
that demon. The demon wants to kill you. It will settle for your misery, but it really wants to kill you.
Yeah. And it just gets bigger. It takes over to where it starves your soul when you're feeding that demon. It just takes everything from you.
So well said.
Just choking you almost is how I felt at the end. Like there just was nothing else but the drug and that was it. And it
Right.
just got so tiring trying to fight it.
It's
That's how
exhausting.
I felt. Hmm.
Well, and that's when we're in recovery and we talk about you have to surrender. All
Yeah.
that means is stop fighting. So, what made you stand up and want to fight back and actually recover and just not live like that anymore?
That's a tough question because it took a long time for me to actually fight for something. I think once I got a clear mind and I was just staying clean for another day, doing what my counselor told me to do, doing what the text told me to do, and staying in the safe space that was rehab. And once I was done with that, I stayed in the sober living there and just still trying to do the next right thing and praying and hoping that court would come and I wouldn't have to go to prison. I mean, I was just living on hope, pure hope. And looking back, I don't know how that I continued, but I think I really did surrender that third time. And I did quit fighting and I just accepted what it was and what it could be. And that's it. I just kept on from hope. That was all.
So, what happened with your criminal stuff?
Somehow my lawyer got my charges lessened and I ended up with 2 years probation that I completed successfully with no violations.
Wow. Wow. Good for you.
It was the drug testing. I called every day to see if they had to drug test me. I was held accountable. I was working.
I've been on that wheel.
It's not that bad. When you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's really not that bad. Um, but it was funny. I was telling somebody I stayed clean because I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to violate. So I'm not going to do drugs while I'm on probation without a doubt. No questions asked. Not even a thought in my mind. But it was in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, when I'm off probation, then what's going to happen?
Mm.
It was a thought, but I just kept on doing what I've been doing. I stayed in my routine. I get off probation. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And the other day I woke up and I thought to myself, like, I'm still clean and I don't have a reason to be other than because I want to be. And that was really cool to me because I don't have anything held over my head. I don't have to be for to stay out of prison is just because I want to be. I like the life that I've built. I like how I feel every day when I wake up, and I want to keep living this life because it just keeps getting better. And I never believe that. You hear it, but you don't believe it, but it is true. And that's what I found. Yeah.
Yay! That brings me so much joy. When the literature tells us you're going to live a life beyond your wildest dreams, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
you live in the Taj Mahal. It means that you don't die with a needle in your arm somewhere. That's what that means. Like me, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
So, what recovery path did you ultimately choose? Like, what are you working now?
Heavy on NA, just going to rehab, that's kind of the main thing that you're introduced to. AA, I believe that they're pretty much the same at the end of the day, so I'm okay with both. I like NA. I like that it's spiritual. I've looked into more God type of program, and that's just not for me. I like what NA is about. I like that it's always there. That's something I can always go back to. I feel at home there, and I just like how the program is. I like what they're about, and I believe in it. So that's kind of what I have chosen as my recovery path. Even if I'm not active in the meetings, I'm always reading the Just for Todays every day without fail. It's how I like to start my day. And I have my literature in my nightstand. I have my step book in my nightstand. It's something that's close to me, even if I haven't always been active in it. It's always been in my life.
I love NA. I did my steps through AA, but at my rehab, the only meeting I could get to was an NA meeting. So even though I worked my steps through AA, I got my fellowship through NA. And I will tell you this, that for anybody out in the audience that doesn't know, and you're going to hear me say this a million times, the steps and the spiritual principles are exactly the same, whether it's AA or it's NA. And if I could delve in a little history here, Jimmy Kay, who wrote the NA basic text, was originally in AA, right? He wrote that in a book. He didn't rewrite Alcoholics Anonymous. It's kind of a supplement, if you will. This is what I did find, that the NA basic text doesn't go into as deep of instructional detail about working the steps as does the AA book. However, if you're working NA, you get your basic text, you get your It Works How and Why, and you get your step workbook. And between the three of those, bam, you're good to go. And you get a sponsor that's been through it and knows what they're doing and can help you, because that's why you have to have a sponsor. Because while you're going through that literature and you're trying to work your steps, your demon is steady handing you justifications and rationalizations and why it's not so bad and blah, blah, blah. And what you need is a sponsor to say, oh, no, 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 you are that bad. Oh, yeah, no, 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 you did do that. Oh, yeah, you did have a part in it. Stop being a victim. You're a perpetrator. You survived it. You'll be strong. Blah, blah, blah. You need that sponsor to combat that demon. But I love NA. I love the fellowship of NA. In the very beginning of the text, it says, there are many books written about addiction. This book is written about recovery. And that, ding, 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 singing on a mountain.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that you're in that, and listen, this is not something, this is a lifelong thing. This is not something you do and you're one and done and, no. So if it takes you a little longer, that's why I say recovery by any means necessary. Whatever's keeping you clean, keep doing that. And don't let anybody tell you different. And I promise, if anybody tells you you're doing it wrong, you send them to me.
It's funny you say that. I feel like it took a really, really, really long time for me to have even a little bit of a clear mind, to where I could even understand my past and my brain and what I went through and my feelings. It took me a long time to even allow myself to open that part of my life back up. I don't know if that's happens to everybody or if that's normal, but I don't think I had the capacity to really go through the 12 steps. I feel like it's something I'm interested in doing now, but before it was just too much. Like too hard. I couldn't understand it. It was like I was thinking maybe it was more than what it was. I don't know, but it was just too much. So I do feel like I'm open to that now, but not any time before now. Like I don't feel like I was ready.
Right. And when you're not willing, you pray for willingness. Get a sponsor, because there's no no reason in the world to try and do it alone. You're not
Hmm.
alone. You're not. We're not going to leave you alone. We're going to love you and we're going to
Yeah.
help you. And we're going to drive you crazy doing it, but we're still going to do it. On one hand, if you work the steps, it's going to help you heal that much faster. But
Mhm.
you're not wrong. I reference a lot of the Alcoholics Anonymous book because that is like the granddaddy of all
Mhm.
12-step programs, right? I think it's the into action where it talks about where like if you get called to go help somebody, you know, you might get a call and somebody's wife going, oh, you know, he's out of his mind. You got to help him. Right. And you
Mhm.
go and you talk to that person and they're twitchy where you're still got it in your system and you're still
Mhm.
seeing shadow people and you're still smell like the alcohol that's coming out of your pores. It's too soon. You
Mhm.
can't. I think you said it perfectly and beautifully
Mhm.
that you just can't wrap your brain around
Right.
all this stuff. You want me to
Mhm.
what? You got to what?
Yeah.
Why? What? Spiritual pray. You know, can I get some water?
Running so quickly through my brain, it just I couldn't slow it down. And it was just like you just said, it was just too much.
Yeah.
Now I have the ability to like calm down and
Mm.
take things like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm working on, or this is my next step. I don't have to like see everything all at once. I think it was like hyper vigilant still and stuck in that like fight or flight, and everything's like panic and stressful. And now I don't feel that anymore. And I feel much more calm. And I think that is something I would like to do. So I do think that'll be on my top of my list to find a sponsor so I can heal, because that's what I my goal has been, is just healing.
I have faith in you. I think you should take my advice.
I will. I will for sure. If there's one thing I've learned, I want to have that mind body spirit connection, and I love that. I remember you were doing the singing bowls
Oh yeah,
before
yeah.
I left the last time, and that's something I've really taken to in my own recovery. Is my mom tells me when I need like an adjustment, I need to go. She calls it clanging, but it's the singing bowls, and I believe in that, and it helps my brain. And like I don't know, you have what I want, connection with my mind, body, and spirit. So.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So
Uh-huh.
that you bring me such joy. I might deal with 100 people and 99 of them could tell me to F off. You know, they don't get it. They don't appreciate me. They're not grateful for
Yeah.
me. I'm just a pain in their ass. And that's okay. That's okay because then I get that one. I
Yeah.
get that one that if you're the only person I ever made a difference to ever in life. I got that one. Yay. You really are warming my heart right now. You really
Oh,
are.
good.
Um and you know what? And I would tell you what my sponsor told me. Okay. I'm going to share these little bits of wisdom with you. So when I was doing my steps and I was twitchy and I was mad about it and I was, you know, and I had to question everything. Why? She said, look, you're already doing it. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about getting you ready to sponsor that next girl who's still out there using,
Mm.
waiting for you to get clean so you can help her. And that stuck with me, right? And so that's what I would pass that to you, that, you know, the sooner you get it together and are able to sponsor somebody else, the sooner you are going to make a great sponsor.
That's pretty cool.
But you got to get there. You got to quit mucking around and
Okay.
you got to do it and you got to get there. You know, your sponsor should have a sponsor and should have been told by their sponsor that now that they have made it through the 12 steps and had their spiritual awakening, that it's okay for them to sponsor somebody. Don't let some chick that's in there and she's on her 10th step talking about, I got 4 months clean, I can sponsor you. No, she can't. No, she can't. She can hang out with you. She can't sponsor
Yeah.
you. Your friends and your family, once they knew that you were trying to get sober, did they think that you could? Did they doubt that you could? Like what was your support like?
I felt very supported. Whether they believed that I could get clean and stay clean, I don't think so. Statistically, I think it would be silly for them to believe that I would get clean and stay clean. Just taking emotion out of it and looking at it for what it was. So I don't blame them, but I was more than supported by my family, my ex-husband, my son, my other son's adoptive family. Like I had support from every single angle. I don't think that they actually thought that it was going to stick. And
What do
I
they
don't blame them.
what do they think now?
Every day somebody tells me how proud they are of me. I love that. I eat that up because I'm so proud of myself too. For the first time in my life, I can say I'm proud of myself and I mean it and I love it and it's awesome. But they're all proud of me.
Great. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
If you hadn't heard it yet today, I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
I tell myself every day, I really do. I do, because it's a big deal and I don't ever want to forget it. I hope when I'm 10 years clean, I'm still proud of myself. I hope
You will
that
be.
never wears off because it's a cool feeling.
It is. Well, I'm about to hit 6 years,
Yeah.
and it just keeps getting easier and keeps getting better. I can vouch for that. What do you still struggle with in your recovery today?
Anxiety, still pretty heavy for me, but I have the tools to use to manage it without medication. Medication's not an option for me. So what are my other options? Breath work and breathing and sitting in the uncomfortable, like my counselor taught me, which works. You kind of don't have a choice to do it, and it's just what you do, and it works. And that's what I struggle with is that anxiety, that uncomfortable managing high stress situations, which my high stress might not be somebody else's, but it is for me, and it's all relatives.
It's real.
But I don't have that urge. I don't want to get high. I just don't. That's not something I have to fight.
That's good. But the demon feeds on fear,
Mm.
feeds on anxiety, feeds on anger, feeds on resentment.
Yes.
So you got to be very careful because you can't let the demon get strong. So how are you starving your demon when it tries to come back?
It is a full-time job. I work really hard to go out and I ground myself. I put my bare feet in the ground. I do breath work. I try to let the sun hit me, whether I go out at work for 5, 10 minutes in the morning to get that morning sunlight and do breath work. Because to me, it's that important. Like, I will take a break from work to go do that because I know that that's how I'm going to starve the demon, is by my nervous system being brought down to where it should be. I meditate a lot. I've started going to a red light therapy sauna. That's something I really enjoy. I meditate when I'm in there. I either listen to high frequency music or I'll listen to a podcast. That's something I try to do at least once a week. I really enjoy it. Those are the things that help keep me calm and grounded and focused, and to where I feel like I can manage the stress without a problem. I
Awesome.
feel healthy that way. Like, I feel like anything that can come up that's high stress, I'm able to manage it when I do all of those things combined.
It's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And whichever one of those things it is keeping you clean, you don't know. So just keep
No.
doing all of it.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. And I'm always looking for more ways to ground myself and bring myself peace and strength and calm. I get worked up easy. And so for me to find those little things that help ground me is important. And I know that. So it is something I do put a lot of effort into.
And it shows.
Thank
You're
you.
literally glowing.
Thank you.
Are you pregnant?
No,
It's spiritual.
no. I have been, for the first time in my life, completely single by myself for 2.5 years, and I'm happy by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I go to the beach by myself. I do everything by myself, and I'm happy doing it. And that's another thing I've accomplished, and I'm really proud of myself because that's not something I've ever done before. I was
Well,
putting
good for
myself in
you.
relationships with people who did not deserve my time just because I just wanted attention.
I remember.
I'm by myself now and I love it. And I will never put myself in a relationship like that ever again in my life. And that is a big thing for me.
Good. Good. It's inspiring. There are
Thank
women
you.
out there that need to hear that.
Yes.
Absolutely. What is your service work? How do you be of help to others, or how do you want to help others?
That's something that I haven't quite done yet. I spoke at the rehab that I went to a couple months ago, and it felt really rewarding to me. I need to get out more to the meetings in my area. It's something that I'd like to kind of integrate into what I've been doing lately. I do want to help people because I know that when you're helping other people, you're helping yourself at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, when you go to sponsor, you're doing the sponsor a favor. We stay clean by sponsoring other people. So you're actually helping your sponsor. So
Yeah.
you're being very selfish to not have a sponsor, Mackenzie.
Well, I will find one then.
There's somebody out there that needs to be able to help you so they don't
Yeah.
drink today.
Hmm. And I think I will like doing that. Like, I think that's something for me. Like, I think that's right up my alley. So that is something in the future that I would like to do.
I think you're going to be great. I know you're going to be great. What would you say to someone who thinks that recovery is just impossible? Because I know there was a point for you where you did not see that it was going to work for you.
That's tough. You just got to keep doing the next right thing. When I felt like it was impossible, it was for me at that time. And I got out of rehab and I relapsed. And then I went back and I relapsed again. It's like it was impossible for me at a time. So I don't know if there's anything I could say other than it's worth it. It's worth all the uncomfortable. It's worth that restless, irritable, and discontented, because you will feel all those things for
Oh, yeah.
who knows how long. And it sucks, but you can get through it, and it's so much better on the other side if you can just hold on. For me, it took the 2 years, without a doubt, for me to sit here and say that and feel like I do now.
Right.
But if you can just hold on and keep doing the next right thing, it's worth it.
Bless you. Keep coming back and embrace the
Yes.
suck. Starve the demon. Embrace the suck.
The irritable and discontented and just restlessness. You feel those three things, it's hard.
Makes total sense to you. I
Yeah.
get it. I read those books. I was always told, and I'm sure I told you, you read those books with a highlighter and a pen, right? And you
Yeah.
highlight everything that relates to you or that reminds you of something or what you want to be, whatever. All my books are highlighted. Just like every word. It could have just been written, hey, Jen,
Yeah.
when you hear this beautiful phrase, recovery by any means necessary, what does that mean to you?
That means however you got to do it. If NA is your calling, or if that helps you, or if reading the Just for Today puts your mind in a place where you can continue on that day and stay clean, do it. If it's, a different route, do that. But whatever it is, you've just got to stay clean. You just have to do it. You just have to. Every day.
What is your favorite quote or motto that keeps you going?
I have two. Move a muscle, change a thought, and you'll be strong.
My favorite.
They're simple, but they're true. And that's how I've kept myself going.
Right on. I know the cliches, they're all true. So is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
What I will say is you can get clean 1 day, 2 days, 30 days, 60 days. You feel free when recovery really starts happening. For me, it was when I got off rehab and I realized I was still clean without anything being held over my head. And that's when I felt lighter. Like the weight has really been lifted and I feel free now. Free from my addiction and my past. It's really taken the weight off my shoulders that I'm here because I want to be. And I show up every day for myself because I want to and not because I have to, so that I don't end up in prison. And if you can just get to that point, it's not easy and it takes a while for some people, I'm sure, like it did for me. But if you could just keep going, you will get to that point to where you feel free and you're happy. And this is a choice I'm making because I want to, not because I have to now. And that's a really, really, really cool gift to have been given. So keep coming back.
Keep coming back. I want to say this to everybody watching. If you have any questions or comments for Mackenzie, just write them down below and I'll make sure that she sees them. I can't make her answer them. I got no control. I got any power, but I'll make sure that she gets them. And please, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, share, tell all your friends if you have any left. And like I say, love everybody. Let God sort them out. Mackenzie, you want to say the other one?
You'll be strong. Keep coming back. It works if you work it.
That's right. It sucks if you don't. It works if you work it. It sucks if you don't. All right.
It does.
So thank you so much for watching the channel. Tell all your friends. And let's give it up for Mackenzie. It's just me. But you know what? The whole audience, anybody's watching it's clapping for you right now. Yay!
Thank you.